It's very subtle, very natural. And that's what people say. And that's why when I tell them, oh, I might want to move to a bigger place, they're like, no, 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 we like this small space. We don't like this manufacturing. Stay small. We like it this way. So that's my style. And South Florida, especially where I live, it's super saturated with med spas, very saturated. There's one of 10 on each corner. So it's a lot of competition.
Okay. Gotcha. Well, so that's good. You're in a market where they want the services. So that's really good. I'm in Ohio and I have clients in, LA and Vegas and New York, Chicago, kind of spread out. And one of the challenging components can sometimes be the market when you're trying to offer these new things maybe they haven't heard of. So I think you're in a really good area where they're pretty open to trying stuff. It doesn't sound different to them, and you don't have to sell them on what it is. So that's really good. Let me go ahead and show you. I'm going to close out some of these windows
here. So you do only med spas?
Yeah.
Okay.
I only do med spas. First 2-3 years, I was doing different stuff, trying to figure out what type of businesses do I want to help? And I fell into med spas. I did dentists, I did chiropractors, I did all types of, but the med spas, I just fell into it because the business started to grow. Med spas are opening everywhere and they're looking for someone. Med spa owners understand growth. They want new patients and they want to expand. And sometimes you can get boutique chiropractors and boutique businesses where they're we like staying small because there's someone like a dentist. Oh, that's $5,000 client right there, So they're we don't need to be huge. Yeah. But I started working with med spas exclusively. So probably in the last 6 years, it's just been med spas only. And I've been able to I know what ads work. I know I got ads that work. I got offers that work. It's just there's a system, a process. I'm I know what works and it works, so it's been really good. So let me open this up.
Do you have any clients here in my area?
In Florida? No. I have a meeting with someone in Miami.
Oh, you have one in Miami?
Yeah, I have a meeting with someone in Miami.
Oh, a meeting. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I got a meeting with someone in Miami, but no, none in Florida. No.
Well, yeah, my area is Miami.
Oh, you're in Miami?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said Hollywood, Florida. How close is
it? It's just a border.
Okay, cool.
It's a different county, but it's 10 minutes away.
I have a rule. I have a 15-mile radius.
Okay.
So all my practices have to be at least 15 miles apart.
That's good. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it wouldn't be good for you or me.
Exactly.
Because you won't be happy. We'll be splitting that's not good. So that's my space gap. All right, cool. So I'm going to skip some slides here because you have a pretty already good understanding of the basics of this stuff. So I'm going to skip a couple slides and let me share this screen here. All right, cool. All right. So Lamar, you can see that?
Yes, I can. Thank you.
Perfect. All right, here we go. So I'm going to kind of skip some of this stuff because you know us all. Maybe I'll just go a little fast. So target marketing, that's what I specialize in.
Okay.
And that means that I go after your specific client. Okay. So target means who do you want? What is the avatar? What is she, is she do laser hair? Is she Botox? Is she a mom? Is she typically, you know what I mean? There's a style.
Yeah.
So that's what I focus on. I focus on Instagram, Facebook. Those are my platforms. Okay.
Yeah.
So here is a typical ad. Once I go through all of my list, because I've been doing this for a while, I have a large list of women who get Botox, who get fillers, who get lip flips, who get laser. So I use a very large list to create a lookalike audience to then target a specific radius in your area. Okay.
Let me tell you one thing. You do the ads, correct? So my previous marketing company, for whatever they did, how Facebook is very restricted. And so my account is disabled permanently. Okay. So on Facebook, yeah. So I try to appeal it. Obviously, you can't, it's connected to my Instagram as well. So I cannot advertise on Instagram. I cannot boost any ads on Instagram. So my previous company, not the one that was responsible for the disability of the ads, but my last one, he had made a different account, a different Facebook page, and a different Instagram page. So he started to do the advertising through the Facebook. The Instagram, we have not connected them yet, the Instagram and Facebook yet, because he wanted the Instagram to become a little more credibility, to have more credibility.
Okay.
That's where I am right now.
Okay. Did you create new pages? Is what you had to do is create new pages?
Yeah, but I also have my original ones, obviously. I have my original Facebook, my original Instagram, which is the most active. That's where I have all my before and afters, daily activities, my spiels, everything. That's the active one. But for advertisement only, I have different accounts.
Okay, that's all right. That's all right. We'll look.
You tell me. I don't know if it's something that is a little bit of limiting.
No,
Okay.
because you'd be surprised. It doesn't limit as long as we can connect to them. People don't typically click your ad and go to your page. They don't, they don't go, well, before I click this ad, let me go look at her page. Let me go look at her. People don't typically do that. They just click the offer and then they go to it.
Gotcha. Okay.
You know what I mean? So they're just more interested in like the
So
offer.
how do they find out my results or my style, or
because we can send I'll show you some stuff, but the Facebook, it's not going to be hard because in a chatbot, I can put in before and afters. I'll show you what I do, but I can put in before and afters and images and stuff like that. And we can also send them a link to your Instagram page.
Gotcha. Okay.
Say, hey, here's our Instagram page. Check us out. Like that's not a hurdle at all. I've helped many MedSpa owners who hadn't even started. They were getting started, and they connected with me because like, hey, I'm opening my med spa. So there's no traction, no likes, no images, and they get results. So it doesn't really matter. The cool thing though is with the bots, I can send them links to your actual Instagram. So you can get that traffic back in there and get that engagement.
Okay.
So yeah, that won't hinder us. All right, cool. So once the ad is ready and ready to go, this is an example here. Now, you kind of already know about this stuff, so I'm going to skip through this. So Michelle's interested in Botox. She starts doing what everyone starts doing when they're interested in Botox. They start looking around. They jump on Instagram. They start liking photos, images. She's, looking at Jeuveau, Botox, this sport. She's kind of doing her research, going down a rabbit hole. Now, Facebook and Instagram know this. Now, the reason I'm going fast is because you kind of already know. So,
yeah. Gotcha.
So once they know that Michelle becomes a lead because she's looking at this stuff, they know that she's a med spa lead. And if you're not advertising, of course, she's going to see all the competitors, whoever is advertising. So before she gets the chance to go to Google, before she gets the chance to look up around me, she's going to see an ad and an offer and go, ooh, I'll connect with that. Okay. So, but you're already offering. You already know about this stuff. So that's why I was like, oh, let me go a little quick. So most ads operate like this. Now, here's where I'm different. Most ads, you have your offer like, hey, 50% off. And here's a little bit about us. And check out this offer. Okay, blah, blah, blah. When the person clicks the ad, it takes them to a landing page. This is how 99% of ads work. Then the person has to put in their information, they look around, and landing pages have an 80% bounce rate. Okay. And then now it's your job, once they put in their information, call, hey, how you doing? All this stuff that we talked about. That's how 99% of advertising works. I don't work like that. Okay. Here's the difference. On the left is a standard ad. On the right is my chatbot. When they click the ad, as you're going to see, it opens in their Messenger app. Okay. And we immediately begin a conversation around the offer. So here we go. So they're going to click the ads. And here's the difference. Hi, Ann, looking for more information about our offer? Yes. Great. So we know her name. We know their name. Great. Confirm your email address. It auto-populates their email address. Great. Please confirm your phone number. It auto-populates their phone number. And now, great, you are ready to book your appointment. Tap here. They tap there. They grab a date and time off the calendar that works. Their information is automatically brought in. And now they are booked appointment. They get automatic text messages, automated emails. Great, Ann, we'll see you at our med spa. Here's the date and the time. Here's our location. You know, we can send whatever information. On the left is a link. They're still putting in their information after browsing the website. And even when they browse the website, they put in all of their information. They're now simply just a lead versus the chatbot. They are a booked appointment.
So this is a different phone number on the right side. It's not the medical spa phone number. It's a different phone number, correct?
Well,
or is it linked to my phone number?
It's whatever phone number you say I want them to reach. Oh, no. It's a different phone number. Yeah. It's a different phone number. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And also they see their ads on Facebook and Instagram, both?
You got it.
Okay. Yep. And then what scheduling system do you work? Because I work with Vagaro. Can you synchronize it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Yeah. Vagaro's great. Yeah, Vagaro's great. It's one of my favorites. So I use Acuity, and Acuity syncs perfectly with Vagaro.
Okay.
Yep. So that is how it works. So this will look familiar to you because you use Vagaro. So this is just an example at the top. So July and August. This is a client who came to me. She couldn't break out of like this 10 grand a month. She was just like, I've been doing this for 3 years. I'm just kind of stuck at this, 10 grand a month mark. She started working with me in September. And as you can see, it took her to 17,000 very next month. And then October took her to 27,000. Okay.
I don't know if those numbers are real, David.
That's a great question. No one's ever asked that. Because I'll show you right now. How about that?
Okay.
Let's see here. Since I still work with this client, I'll show you right now. But I will block out the.
I can close my eyes for a second.
Yeah. Let me block out the.
I'm not looking. I promise. I'm not looking. I'm just very skeptical,
After being burnt, yes, I do know. I do, because you work with some people and it's like 3. You said 3, so
3 different. Yeah.
I'd be skeptical too. I'd be like, listen here, buddy. Let's see here. Oh, did I do that? Damn, what did I do? Come on, baby. Never mind. I don't have. They just put a authentication that I don't have that. God damn it. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, I literally was on this morning. Okay. Anyway, well, you just got to believe me.
Okay.
You just got to believe me. Damn. I have to call them like, what the hell? So anyway, that's what I do. Now, maybe this will help. So you went from some clients. We started working together at the beginning of this month. And already, how many new clients are you at?
I have already 14 new clients, and 3 actually of my new clients have already scheduled other second appointments. So we're at 17 appointments. Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. So we had 45 new patients last month, which in 20 years of practice, I've never had.
And under a month, we've had about 55, 58 inquiries come into our MailChimp account. That's about $18,000 in income generation.
Laura Metz, now, are you getting semaglutide patients in the door?
Yes.
And some of them are signing up for month to month, but some of them are signing up for your monthly, 3 month.
90% of them are signing up with my 3-month program.
Now, you had one of these people, you don't have to pay us until we bring in new clients.
Other digital marketer are, just lots of leads after leads after leads, but they can't convert, close, and pay.
We booked 5 just yesterday, and it's early today, so she's already booked 2 more today.
And today is the, 11th?
the 11th.
I would say jump off the ledge and do it and try it for that first month, and you won't even think twice about it. It's the best investment that you'll ever make as far as your marketing. If you're going to do it, you may as well do it right. It's been incredible, David. It has been incredible.
So that's just a couple of my clients that love me. But the reason why it works is because I do send appointments and not leads. So, if my goal is 10 new appointments every month, that's my goal. Sometimes it's going to be 10, sometimes it's going to be 15, sometimes it'll be 22. But my goal is always to send 10 new appointments each month.
Do you do it yourself, or you have the automated system? You don't actually do it.
No, So I build everything and get everything ready for your personalized, I built the bot, I set up all of our automation. And once it's good to go, we're good to go. I make our ads. I'm in my accounts. I can spend a lot of time in client accounts because my system is automated. So once your stuff is good to go, I can constantly be in the accounts optimizing. So if something's not working, I have the time. I'm in there looking like what's going on, and we need to make a new ad. This ad's been running for 3 months, so it's drying out a little bit. Let's tweak some things.
Constantly overlooking it and perfecting it.
Optimizing. Okay. I am an optimizer. So yeah, it's
bottom line. Tell me what are the fees, and what do you think the budget should be?
Yeah. So it's $2,000 a month. That's what I charge. And that includes your ad spend.
How much is the ad spend?
Anywhere from like $500 to $600 a month. It's going to fluctuate between that price.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
And
so
contract?
I don't do contracts.
Okay.
Because when you do contracts, I've seen it, they can get very complacent. They don't have to perform. Whereas me, you need to have the constant pressure to perform, or your client can leave you. Now, the only thing I do have is a 30-day, don't just cancel like day before. I have a 30-day window where like, hey, this is going to be the last month. That's
fair. That's understandable.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So then when you say, let's say we sign up today, then how long it would take you to set everything up? And when do I start paying you? When do you start counting the 1 month?
So the day we run, okay. So 2 weeks, that's how long it takes me to have everything set up. And so 2 weeks. And then the day we start running, boom, that it goes. So if let's say we'll do probably the 15th of August, somewhere around there, we'll probably round it off and make sure the day makes sense. If it's like a Monday, not like a random like Sunday or something.
Perhaps once on the day that you start the payment. So the August 15 will be the first payment. Perhaps.
You got it.
Gotcha.
It'll be, well, the first payment. Yeah. So you're covered for that. You pay today, you're good for that first month. That covers you for the first month.
No, but you're saying it takes 2 weeks for the setup.
Yeah. So yeah, right. You pay today, you're good for it. It only takes me 2 weeks to set it up. And then when we start running, that whole first month is already paid for. You're good. So then your next payment will be in, what would it be? September.
Okay. So let's say I pay you August 1st, but you're not starting running the ads until August 15. So I won't be charged until September 15 for the second month. That's what you're saying.
You got it.
Okay.
I think I made that confusing when I went through my scenario. And I saw your look. You're like, what are you saying?
Yeah, because I'm missing 2 weeks. If that's
I made that confused. I'm like, wait, hold on. Yeah.
So and you're guaranteed. What happens if you don't generate? Because your goal is 10 per month.
Right.
So what happens if you don't generate the 10 per month for the month of August?
You can cancel if you'd like. Now, here's what I will say.
So you didn't keep your promise, your goal, for example. So
yeah,
I paid you $2,000 for nothing.
No, you will never. You will never get nothing. You will never get less than 5. So let me explain something. there is a lot of marketers use the excuse like it takes a long time. It doesn't take a long time. There is a ramping up process that's called social proof. Okay. Now, in the first, I say my goal, the reason why I say my goal is 10, because in the first month, you're going to get probably 5 to 8. Okay. And the reason is our ads don't have enough social proof yet, but as they run and they get more likes, more comments, more responses, things like that, people are going to see that and go, oh, okay, so, I'm going to go with this person. I've been seeing this ad. And the longer that goes on, the more social proof you have. So first month is going to be anywhere from like 5 to 7 new patients. Second month will be anywhere from like 7 to 10, maybe 7 to 11, somewhere around there. And then the third month, you should be consistently hitting 10 plus per month. Gotcha. So that's why I say my goal is 10, because the first 2 months, you might get 6, you might get 7 in the first month, but the second month you'll get maybe like, you could get 10, but it might be like 7 to 10, around that range. But then the third month, you're going to be hitting 10 plus.
And what are your ads like? So is there any profit from the ads?
Oh, that is a great question. You have experience.
Yes, exactly. Because if you're advertising the Botox for, $6 per unit, then I'm making nothing.
Right. So there are a few, well, I always talk to you first, right? So my goal, I have to talk to you and figure out what is an offer, because you know better than I know in your area what an offer is. Because in certain places like the West Side, that's a different offer, right? Like they do like $875 per unit, but it has to be like 50 units at least. So there's different regulations and things, how it works in different places. $9 a unit is a good price in the Midwest, right? $10 a unit can be good depending on where it's at. So that's what I typically that's the conversation I have to have first, is when you've done this in the past, what has worked?
Yeah. Remember, we are very saturated here.
I know. So you have to compete. I know. I understand. Yeah, but I got some pretty ads.
But I cannot lower my prices because obviously I have expenses and I'm a sole practitioner, and
I hear you.
It's to be reasonable too.
Yeah. So what works? You tell me what works for you in that area.
So, I mean, people always, and we have a group of practitioners too, and also on social media. That's how I found you. And people use a lot of bad products as well, and that's how they're able to lower the prices. They're not the original products, so that really, kicks us in the butt. Yeah. So that's a problem here. Right now, currently, my Dysport, because I carry Dysport and Botox, the Dysport I charge $5 for the unit, and then for Botox I charge $13 per unit. My practice basically is based on Dysport mostly.
Okay.
So I would say about 95%, 98% of my patients are on Dysport.
Okay.
So I usually do $5 for the unit.
Wow, that's a good.
Yeah.
That sounds good to me.
And so I guess 4 will be like the lowest I can really go per the unit.
Let's just go. Let's start at 5. And because let's see how it does. We'll run that for 2 days and we'll see how it does in terms of gaining traction. What about fillers?
It sounds lower, but it's equivalent to Botox. $5 per unit, it's equivalent to $13 for Botox. Dysport and Botox. Yeah.
What about $450?
$450. What it would give you $450?
No, if we instead of doing $4 a unit, what if we do?
Oh, got you. Yeah, $450 is fine.
Let's try that first. So we'll meet in the middle, because we can get into these areas. I want you to get the clients that have the money and they're looking for an offer, but they're not looking for a steal.
And I'm not looking for Groupon patients, David.
That's right.
That's not my goal.
Right.
Most of my patients here are the same vibe as I am.
Perfect.
Not cheap, but they come in regularly. and they don't look for any discounts too much. I do offer promotion once a month. I always do it.
Okay.
Just because,
Be
everybody.
competitive.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
My fillers, I charge 900 for a filler for a syringe.
Okay.
For August, I'm going to be charging 700.
Okay.
So I have $200 of. Usually, my area average syringe is between. You can find anywhere from 650 to 850 per syringe.
I'm going to have you send me everything in an email as a follow-up too, and then we'll get all the prices and services going. So let's do filler. Let's do a filler special and a Dysport special. We'll start there. I always run 2 offers because there's sometimes it can be more profit in the fillers, but if you get someone in for, I would say 50% or most of the time looking for both. So it's always good to run.
Of course.
Fillers.
I also I have a laser machine.
Okay.
And I have chemical peels.
Tell me, so I'm interested in the laser because there's some opportunity right now. Tell me how the market is out there in terms of hair removal.
No, I don't have hair removal. Mine is a laser for skin resurfacing.
So sunspots and things like that.
Collagen production, discoloration.
That's perfect.
Large pores. Remember, we are in Florida.
Yeah.
So summertime is not really a good time to do chemical peels, and you cannot be exposed to the sun. But probably starting in September, October, it should be really focused on those services.
Yeah. So they can begin to heal up from all that sun damage. Yeah. That's
I also have IV hydration as well.
How's the market out there when it comes to that?
Well, I collaborated with a different company, so I don't deal with that perhaps. I just advertise, and then if they bring me somebody in, I get percentage off
they
received. So I wouldn't mind promoting that as well, just because it doesn't cost me anything. I'm just earning from it.
But it does take away from our ad spend budget.
Yeah, I get exactly. Yeah.
So maybe that's not something we'll promote, but that's an option we can put in our chatbot.
Yeah.
Because anything we can put in our bot, we can always say, here, we also offer. And the other cool thing about our bots is we have their phone numbers. So I run text message campaigns as well. So we can follow up with them a month later and, send them, hey, such and such. It was right this monthly special, like you do monthly promos.
Right.
So we'll be able to text all those people and get them in the door, and they'll be able to book right from the text as well. They'll be able to click the link. It'll get them back in the bot. So it's a whole process. I automate everything. I don't know why I just got goosebumps. That's some weird shit.
Because you're very passionate about it.
I am, man. Listen, we don't really want to talk to people. We both of us want our calendars to fill up. Like that's.
Yeah, that's the goal here. I mean, and it really affects my mood when I don't see my calendar full.
Right.
I get super depressed.
But then
I just have to remind myself to look at the overall year. The long run is what I'm looking for. Not because if I see little holes in the calendar, I really get sad.
Yeah. That's a good reflection point for you and me both. You talking to me as well. When I'm like, oh man, I don't have any meetings this week. Shit. You know what I'm saying? Like we need to be growing. But when we do sit back and we look at how much money we've made this year, we're like, well, shit, when I look at the holistic vision, the whole picture, I'm happy. But if I just sit in this moment, I'm sad. So we have to remember to bring ourselves out of that.
Remind myself. Important. Yeah, every year.
Well, I mean, I think we should get started a little more. Like I said, get started today. I'll have the bot and everything built by the 15th, but I'll follow up in a week because that's when I need to connect to all your stuff. So I'm going to be building the things. And then in a week, I'm like, all right, send me the password to this, send me the password to that, get connected, overview of the services and everything that we're doing. I need you to send me that email so I can begin to write the flows. They're called bot flows, but so I can begin writing the flows and stuff. So ready to jump in?
So you think the budget of $500-600 per month should produce me, like you said in the beginning, about 10?
Yeah, unless you want to spend more.
Well, I mean, let's try the number that you offered. because you have more experience.
2,000, I won't say guarantee, but that, let's just say that 10 plus. I have med spas that have investors, they're big investors
Yes,
and
exactly.
whatever. So they can spend $5,000 a month, and yeah, they get more because when you spend more, you get more. So, but I know that at $2,000, I can get you 10 patients a month. I know that. But as we begin to scale and you go, hey, let's rock and roll, man. I want to throw a couple more $100 at this thing. We can have that conversation.
Okay. All right. So let's try. I'm very skeptical, David. I told you in the beginning.
Yeah.
Again, this is a very slow month. So I'm really very nervous of giving you this money because I'm being very tight with my fundings for this month. But you sound trustworthy, and I feel that. And I feel that, it's worth a try, and there's no contract as well.
Yeah.
So I said, let's try it, let's try it. And and the only thing is I a little iffy about is the dislike about what happens if you don't meet the goal.
I know.
I just spent $2,000 here and I got nothing out of it. So,
but here's what I can promise you. I can promise you it will be more than 5. I just can't promise in the first month it's going to be 10.
Okay. So let's say 5 for the first month, just to be fair on both sides. Okay.
Yeah.
But what happens if you don't meet that 5, David?
That's never happened.
Okay.
It has never
9
happened.
years of business, it never happened to you.
In the first 5 years, it happened.
So you're saying 5 new patients on my chair, not in the book.
Right.
On my chair.
Hooked.
On my chair.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's never not happened. I've never not brought a client.
But I want you to be able to do the distinction. I don't care about the calendar. I care about people walking into my door.
Yeah. Booked appointments. That's why I take credit card information. Yeah. So I don't charge and when we sync, you're using Vagaro. So maybe I'll create your own Acuity account. Then I'll probably create your own Acuity account, set up your own Stripe account. We'll do it that way. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So we'll do it that way. But that way you have and I don't have to worry about some of my clients, like I charge and then I Venmo them as but other clients, I have them set up on their own. Anyway, I'm having a side conversation with myself.
Okay.
But that is why I take card information, because when you take card information and I tell them in the email, it's a $50 no-show charge. I know some people do 25. I tell them 50 because you already put your information in. So too bad. You have to show. And if you don't show, just simply reschedule. I give them, they have the ability to reschedule. There's so many ways that it's set up to where.
So you don't put them on the schedule unless they give you the $50 deposit.
No, unless they put in their card information.
But how do you know the card works?
That's the thing you don't. That happens, but very small amount. I would say 98% of the time it's a real card. But yeah, there's going to be 2%. Some of the things is outside of our control, but 2% probably might put in a bogus card, but 98% of them is going to put in their card. If they're walking around with a bogus card, that's interesting. Most people don't have.
So the information you're getting from the bots, perhaps the credit card information and their name, phone numbers, that transfers directly into my Vagaro.
So when they go to click to book their appointment, when they click that button in the bot, it takes them to, I use Square. So I use Acuity for that. So it takes them from the bot and then connects everything inside of Square. And all the bookings is done inside of Square. And then I use your Vagaro API via Google Calendar. I'll grab a Google Calendar that takes all your Vagaro appointments and it takes all of your Square appointments and it keeps everything separate and it knows what appointments are booked. So all of your.
But me, when I open my Vagaro, will I be able to see those appointments on my Vagaro?
You got it. Yeah. 100%.
So then their credit card is going to be on my Vagaro?
It will be, you're going to have a Square. It'll be
I have a Square, but I don't use it because I found a different company that the patient pays the fees. I don't pay the fees anymore.
Okay. So I'll set it up to where the credit card information will be inside of the Acuity, which is Square. So if they don't, but I have one of my clients was going over and putting their card information in Vagaro. So regardless, you will have the card information. You will have the card information.
So the patient card information will be inside my Vagaro.
It won't be inside of Vagaro. It's going to be inside of Square. I'm going to set up a Square account for you, an Acuity account, where it's like your own leads, it's your appointments that come in through our business, right? So it's the appointments that come in through all of our advertising. All of those appointments will be there, and all of their, card information will be there in that calendar. But that calendar syncs with Vagaro. So you will see both people inside of your Vagaro. You'll see all of your typical normal Vagaro appointments, and you'll see the new marketing appointments in there as well. But their card information will be inside of that Square account. All those new people, their card information will be there.
Okay, so 2 questions. One is how do you know my availability on Vagaro?
So I take your Vagaro API and I create a Google Calendar. And the Google Calendar, it's going to sound techie. See, I'm a nerd. I don't want to nerd you out. So just stay with me here. Okay.
Yeah, I'm listening.
So either if you have a Google Calendar already, then I use that. I take that. If you don't have a Google Calendar for the business, then I create just a Google Calendar that we use just for this scenario. And the Vagaro appointments will all sync to that Google Calendar, and the new appointments coming in will all sync to that calendar. And because all the appointments are on one calendar, Vagaro and Square will see all the appointments.
Okay. But what I'm saying is, if my virtual assistant if my assistant is already booking her own appointments, you'll be able to see those appointments that she booked. So that way it's not interfering with the new appointment.
Got it. Yeah. Because the way that it works when the software is talking to one another, it's called an API. And that's just how software talks to one another. It's instantaneous. So as soon as she goes into Vagaro, as soon as she books someone, immediately that slot is going to be filled and someone can't book it in our bot.
Got it. Okay. And then as far as the patient's credit cards on your Square, how do I get?
I'm going to give you all access. You'll have all access. You might just want to give it to your assistant, but I'll create that and you'll have all access to that. So when you want to charge, because I want you, the reason why some of my clients are connected on, I have a whole thing with a bunch of clients on it, but we started charging people like 2 years ago. So it was easier for me to have everybody on all of my calendars connected. But as we started charging people, we could only connect one Stripe account or one PayPal account. So I'm taking all these payments and then I'm sending it to the spas because like, oh, this person didn't pay. Here's their, fee. Now, luckily it doesn't happen often, but at the end of the month, I'm like, here's $100 or here's $150. So now, because people flake like it's nobody's business, we're taking I'm creating all new, each client has their own calendar, their own Acuity, their own Square calendar. And I want you to connect your PayPal or your account to it. So then every time you charge someone for not showing, it goes into your account. Okay. And that way it don't go into me and then I have to send it to you.
And what account is that? It's connected to what?
Do you have probably, who are you using right now?
No, I have a Square, but I'm not using it anymore.
No, do you have a Stripe account?
No, I have, it's called Pay Anywhere.
All right, we'll check that out. I'll look into that, but I like to basically connect your card info. So when you charge someone, it goes directly to you instead
So
of
maybe if I can give you my information of this company, maybe you can connect it to it.
right. Yes, I'll look at yeah. Because if they have an API, if they have an API, then that's going to make it easier for all the card, the deposits to go into there.
Yeah. Okay. Got
So
you.
yeah, well, it'll work. I know it sounds complex, but you seem to understand it. That's why I didn't want to go too complex, but you seem to be able to comprehend how this software works. Some people are like, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. Just
No, I want to know because then I can troubleshoot and I need to figure things out.
that's good. Yeah, that's good. All right, so you ready to roll? Let's do it.
So we decided on 5 for the first month.
Yeah.
What happens if your goal is not met, David?
I'm gonna go shoot myself.
No.
Because I'm very cocky. Okay. So if I can't bring you 5 new patients, I will go question life and why am I doing what I'm doing?
So, but those are 5 patients on the chair, not on the book.
Booked appointments. Yeah. Your calendar, like you're going to see.
But I'm not talking about booked appointments, David. That's where everything is happening. I'm talking about 5 new patients on my chair.
Yeah, you will get 5 new patients in your chair.
There's a difference between booked appointments.
I know. And calendars. I know. I know.
So I don't care about the calendar. I want to make sure there's 5 patients on my chair.
Yeah. I know. That's why what I do is automated, because once they get on the calendar, they put in the card information, because I send it, I send text messages, I send email reminders. Hey, we'll see you tomorrow. Hey, we'll see you later this evening. Guess what? Your appointment is in an hour. Like I send these constant reminders, and they're able to easily reschedule if they can't make it. So the odds of people just deciding to not show up I make it very easy for them to reschedule, because things do happen. It's just it's low with people not showing up to their appointment because of the process. Now, I told you, I've been doing this for a while, so I had to perfect this process because it wasn't like this 5 years ago. I had to comb it out, and there's a rate of how often you can message someone and send these emails to where they are going to respond and it's going to work. So it took me a while to perfect this. That's why I can have the confidence and say, in the first month, you're going to get roughly this, in the second month, because the system works itself out. That's just the way it works. I had to figure this out. So it's been working like this for 5 years. And I'm pretty confident in what I do. And I know that I have a reputation in that group. So I can't have you being like, don't go with David, Lord Jesus, whatever you do, he promised me the sun and the moon. And so I have a reputation to keep. I want you, when someone says, hey, does anyone know of a marketer, or I just started, I want you to confidently say, hey, my guy brings me 10 plus new appointments each month. Mm-hmm. So check him out.
Okay. All right. So yeah. So let's give it a try. And I hope you really stand behind your words and
I do,
and your promises and your goals, because obviously I will continue.
Yeah.
And I don't see any, at least for the first month. I mean, I'm really giving it 1 month, to be honest with you.
I hear you.
Because you said 5. Initially you said 10, then you said 5.
Well,
so I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. 5. Let's do 5 for the first month, and then if I'm not getting 5, I can't continue.
Yeah. Because if you can't get 5 in the first month, what makes you think you're gonna get 10 in the second month?
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. I'm with you. I'm with you. All right, let's do it. Yeah, I'm with you. Trust me. All my clients, they all come to me because they've been burned. So I always have to prove myself, because these marketers they all promise like, you're gonna get 50 leads. And then the person's like, I've been working with them for 3 months and 2 people have walked in my door. So I'm tired of you guys getting burnt. There's so much crappy people out there that is literally taking Advantage. They
And then
have.
how do I contact you, David? Regular.
Yeah, just text. Yeah, regular.
Okay.
Yep, like that. What is a good email address for you?
At Gmail.
Perfect. Now, credit card information. Got you in the system.
Okay, 1 second. Let me step out.
Stretch, baby. Yeah.
It's 40.